Hi everyone, my name's Andrew Balolofsky and I'm the owner of People Inventing Motion Pictures. I'd like to take a moment and welcome everyone back to our YouTube channel. We have some new subscribers this week. I was checking my email yesterday and I was notified that Robert McColgan, a crew member from our film Pranksters, he has just subscribed. Thank you very much. I wanted to take a moment to recognize that. That means a lot to us that people are subscribing. Those who haven't subscribed, we encourage you to. Thank you very much for your support. And those who haven't subscribed, we still thank you for coming back and checking us out with our new YouTube videos. That means a lot to us. We have a great show today. We're going to be reviewing some more films and TV sitcoms that I've been watching over the last few weeks, and it's going to be a really good show. We're going to be reviewing more of Shameless, more of Californication, and two brand new films and TV sitcom that I just started watching. The film is called Sundown, and the TV sitcom, it's called The Santa Clarita Diet, that just came out in 2017. Starring Drew Barrymore and Tim Olympius. So let's get started with our Santa Clarita Diet. That's the first show that I started watching not too long ago. That is a very interesting show. I've been to Santa Clarita, California, and I've seen the local sites, and it's very spot on. Of course, it's filmed there, but it's very interesting to see a show that has actually been filmed in a location that you've been to on vacation. Actually, it was quite recent, too. It was last November that I was there. But the whole sitcom, it's based behind this premise of a husband and wife realtor team, which is another thing that I found interesting since I'm a realtor, real estate broker. I found that to be pretty interesting that the sitcom is based behind that. The wife, she happens to throw up her heart and become a undead person, and she has to feast on other human beings. That was very interesting. I've only gotten to 4 episodes maybe through the sitcom. Drew Barrymore's character eats humans. They have a cooler that they store them in. And it's very interesting because they also reference the Serbian and Slavic languages in a painting, because after Drew Barrymore's character undergoes this change, she goes on a rampage to eat because she's been fasting for 3-4 days, and her husband is trying to find some kind of cure for her, I guess, change would be the best way to put it. So what the husband Joel, what he ends up doing is going to different bookstores that have sections of the undead, and he talks to people, and he sees these 2 paintings, and they are in Serbian. And I'm from a Macedonian descent, and that's very similar to the Serbian. And I thought that was very interesting that they would pull that in. It's also a very creative TV series. The way that they introduce it, you have a table setting, and there is a drop of blood that drops on the table, and it lands on the plate. And the text Santa Clarita Diet, it's all in black text, but when the blood drops on the I of diet, the word diet then turns into red. I found that to be pretty creative. But going to the characters, I found it to be an interesting character arc for the husband Joel, because I previously watched him in a film called The Girl Next Door, and it's a night and day difference between these 2 characters. Joel in the Santa Clarita Diet, he's still maintains his edgy ways and his sarcastic nature, but he also reveals that element of caring and less of a I want my way type of thing, where he produced in the Girl Next Door character. In the Girl Next Door character, he was very much the badass. Here he just wants life to get back to normal. But he carries that a portion of the badass through his character in Santa Clarita Diet, because he ends up killing his neighbor. That was kind of a shock, because he bounces back and forth on wanting to not help his wife out and wanting to help his wife out. He's conflicted, but he ends up killing his neighbor, who's very annoying to him and much of the other people around in the neighborhood too. So that's some of the things that I like about Santa Clarita Diet, what I found interesting about it. Typically, would I watch a show with cannibals in it? Most likely not, because I gear towards more comedy, but this is a sitcom. It's a little bit out of my element, but I like it. It has certain things in it that are different than what I normally watch. So check it out. It's very good. It's going to be interesting to see season 2. Moving on, we're going to review Shameless now. Wow, a lot of things have been changing in that show. You have to watch it and check it out. I hope the rest of the seasons continue on with the same intensity. They're going to be having, I think, another season out in August of 2017. So I hope it just maintains that intensity. Right now, where we're at with that show is that Liam inhales cocaine that Fiona leaves out by accident, and Fiona ends up in jail because of that. I mean, a one-time incident, child endangerment, I could see it happening, but it's one of those wow things that you don't expect a child to get into cocaine like that. But you have to look at it too. Liam is probably 2.5 right now, or 1.5 years old in the series. It's intense. So other things that are happening in the series, and pardon me for glancing at my notes, but Frank, his liver's failing and his drinking problem is getting up to him. He is at a life and death situation, and the family needs to decide whether a casket or an urn will do, and when to order the flowers. Everyone's trying to help him out. Well, I take that back. Everyone's not trying to help him out. His daughter, his estranged daughter from, I guess, a second marriage, is trying to help him out. And also Sheila comes back and tries to help him out. Her boyfriend at the time is an Indian, and he talks about how sweat lodges will heal and take out all the alcohol from one's liver. So they try that out, but that only worsens it for Frank. He ends up in the hospital, and the doctor, who has seen Frank for multiple other times for his drug and alcohol problem, tells him good luck, because there's nothing that he can do at that point. He needs a whole new liver. They don't give up hope. Frank's a fighter. That's what I like about him. He doesn't give up. Anytime someone tells him that he's dying, he's saying, "No, I'm not dying." He gets the courage to convince his son, Carl, to find a way that he can get put on a liver transplant list and get insurance money. Carl, he ends up breaking Frank's legs, so that way he can go to the attorney and they can collect damages on it from the insurance carriers. It's really, really interesting and intense at this point. Last thing that happened in the series that in the episodes that I'm watching is Ian, Lip's brother and Fiona's brother, is wanted by the army too. I guess he ran away from them, and now he is being sought after. It's a very good show, highly addictive. Watch it. The next show that I have watched, that I continue to watch, is Californication. That show is also very intense, and we're at a point in the series, I think, that it's the high point. I also continued on a few other episodes watching them just to kind of compare to see if it maintains the same intensity. And it kind of does and doesn't, but the intense point of where I'm at right now is Mia's character has finally confessed that she has stolen Hank's book and is now giving Hank the credit because she's breaking down because Hank is being convicted of rape charges and has to go to court for raping a underage girl. And it's very intense. The Runkles get a divorce. Marcy is pregnant with Charlie's boy, and it just is intense. And going back to what I said previously about maintaining that intensity, I did watch a few episodes into season 5 to see if it still carries on. Karen ends up becoming married, and it just kind of shifts drastically before the end of season 4 and transitioning into season 5. There's a big switch. You can kind of feel it in the emotions of the characters, and it's still good, but I think it's kind of leveling out. I don't know how the rest of it's going to be, whether it's going to keep that intense nature of what's Hank going to do next, type thing. The next show that I've been watching is actually a movie. It's called Sundown. And that movie, it's a great vacation movie that I saw. It inspired me to want to go to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and actually take in the sights. It was very creatively done, very tastefully done. It's about a true love and finding it on vacation. You set off in life with one track, and then that track kind of gets bended because you decide to take fate a different direction, or fate takes you in a different direction. Much so as a lot of people in life, you end up going to college for one thing, and then you start working in a totally opposite field, art history, going into nursing field type thing. So it's a very good movie. I highly encourage people to take a look at it, watch it. It's very creative. It also follows in the footsteps of The Hangover, in my opinion, because it has that same type of feeling. It's a party movie too, but it's a little different than The Hangover, but it keeps that creative type of feel. You could see so by the type of characters that were cast in it. You have the Mexican taxi driver, Chewy. His whole character was very interesting. He was probably a 5-foot Mexican taxi driver / businessman type of guy. He always negotiating, always Mr. Popular, knew everybody in Puerto Vallarta, and very good casting. Editing was very original in my opinion, and I hope that Pranksters, the film that I'm trying to produce, goes into that type of a creative feel to it, because it really resonated. It was done well, and it reminded me a little bit of Sex Drive, the film. It came out a few years ago too, I would say early 2000s, but there was aspects of Sundown that reminded me of that movie too. But I do encourage you to watch that. And in closing, as we wrap up, I want to find out what you guys, our viewership, wants me to include in my video. I don't want to keep the same things going and have this be a boring show for you guys. I want to keep things exciting. I want to keep things moving. I want to keep things going in an entertaining direction for everybody. So please do leave us your comments on these videos. Contact me. My phone number is 614-257-8123. Email me at andrew@balolofsky.com, or just call me would be a better bet. 614-257-8123, or leave a comment. I always check my comments. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks.